Recognize the member for Prince Albert Northcote.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank my husband for supporting me. I want to thank my family. I'm soon going to be grandma for the third time. I want to thank my staff that are back home and the people that keep my office running smoothly, Trudy Deranger, Brent Gerlach, and Donna Barr. Mostly, though, I want to thank the people of Prince Albert Northcote. I'm so humbled and indeed honoured that they would choose me to be their representative MLA. And I'm so honoured to be part of the team of MLAs that are committed to help the future of Saskatchewan live up to its full potential. Mr. Speaker, when I first joined this team of 49 MLAs, I really often felt like I was running to catch up to their experience, to their knowledge. They are really very much like a big family, and I do come from a big family, Mr. Speaker. I have 9 siblings that keep me on my toes from time to time. Valerie, Kevin, Leon, Darrell, Janine, Sherry, Trevor, Travis, and Kurt. What I found is this common bond that we have is sprinkled with a variety of views. And what we end up with is a microcosm of Saskatchewan. Whether we have farmers or labourers, professionals or pilots, students, teachers, entrepreneurs, employees, parents, spouses, grandparents, whether our caucuses went to university or post-secondary or the School of Hard Knocks, whether they have grown up with barely 2 dimes to rub together or millions of dollars in their family inheritance, all have welcomed me and all have made me feel part of the team, so thank you, everyone. What this does is it provides the strength to make tough decisions. It creates a base that surpasses the 4-year plan that so many governments have. Let's take our 8-year housing plan, for example, or our plan for growth, Vision 2020 and beyond. Mr. Speaker, we have listened, we are listening, and we will continue to listen to the people of this province. Last week, Mr. Speaker, I had great hope that we would have a fruitful discussion. After all, the opposition, the -9, stood up and gave our Minister of Finance a standing ovation.
That's true. That's true.
Alas, the NDP did revert back to their partisan ways, and in less than an hour, they flip-flopped. And then they delivered their standard fare, a great big helping of despondency and despair.
Sounds about right.
Mr. Speaker, I see time and again how, once our people were set free from the NDP shackles of despair and despondency, our province started to grow. We've grown as a province, we've grown as a community, and as a people. This freedom that sets in place the opportunity to create a new Saskatchewan is full of hope and excitement. We are working together. We are meeting the challenges of growth. We are greeting tomorrow with a fervency that this province has not seen for more than a century. One that has balanced the wants, desires, and dreams of our people with the inaction of the past, the crumbling roads, and crumbling infrastructure. Mr. Speaker, this is a balanced budget. This budget invests in people. It promises to support community. Our promises to support the community mobilization projects to reduce crime have been kept. Mr. Speaker, when I door knocked on every door in my constituency, when I spoke to every single person that would speak to me, I took notes and I learned that feeling safe and a reduction of crime were the most frequently cited issues. Well, Mr. Speaker, I'm very pleased that our government has supported our voice and has provided money to support the action that our community took. The action that took the pioneering spirit of our pioneers, that took the collaborative efforts of the First Peoples that came here, combined it with the community-minded determination of Prince Albert, and we created what is called the Community Mobilization Program, but in Prince Albert we like to call it the Hub and Core. Mr. Speaker, I'm very proud of my community of Prince Albert. My community took a new approach, one never seen before in North America. The people of Prince Albert are leaders. Our people are helping themselves, their community, and their province. This community mobilization partnership is being adapted in our cities and towns across Saskatchewan and indeed in our country. With this budget, there is increased funding so that we will now have 15 hubs and 3 cores in our province. As well as prevention, Mr. Speaker, our government provided more funding for enforcement. Thanks to my colleague from Prince Albert Carleton, there are more police officers now than there were when the NDP ruled. Besides prevention and enforcement, our government has put funding towards the corrections institutes in Prince Albert. Now, employees and inmates have a safer environment. Not only are we keeping our election promises, Mr. Speaker, we are building on them. We set in place a growth plan. Our Saskatchewan Plan for Growth Vision 2020 set a goal to have 1.2 million people living in Saskatchewan by the year 2020. As of last count by Stats Canada, we have 1,117,503 people living and working here. Mr. Speaker, with the 49 people that are MLAs on this side of the House, we have all of those voices represented. We have another goal, and that is to have 600,000 people working in our province by 2020. Our latest reports from Stats Can indicate that we have 551,600 people working here with full-time jobs. Not only that, we have an unemployment rate that is the lowest in the country for 14 consecutive months in a row. Hear, hear. Mr. Speaker, people are front and centre in our budget. In my constituency of Prince Albert Northcote, there is a lot of wisdom. Wisdom from seniors that have experienced life. I enjoy interacting with these people and credit my mom, Marion Fraze, for instilling my love of seniors. When I was just a little girl, my mom would take us to visit her maternal grandma. Mr. Speaker, we are always excited to see the Nana grandma because every time we went to see her, she would say, "Na, na, na, look who's come to visit." Mr. Speaker, this woman was one of our pioneers. She lived until the age of 101. I was only 25 when she died, but I still think of her very fondly. Mr. Speaker, the seniors in our province are just as special. That is why we provided $4.5 million for the Home First Quick Response Pilot Program. That will provide innovative care supports to better serve our seniors. Mr. Speaker, if we had that program in place when my great-grandma was alive, she would have never ended up in a long-term care facility. Contrast that with the record of the NDP. They dished up despondency and despair to those wonderful beacons of wisdom. Mr. Speaker, not only that, they have the audacity to say they are supporting seniors. But not once, Mr. Speaker, not even once did they raise the seniors' income plan in the 16 years that they ruled. Mr. Speaker, at this time of the year, many of us are filing our income tax. Some that are a little ahead of the game are finished, but everyone will have noticed, many will have noticed, that we have an indexed income tax system. What that means, Mr. Speaker, is that each year Saskatchewan residents will see $6.5 million in tax savings. This year, that adds up to a total savings of $109 million since '07, the year the people of Saskatchewan asked the Saskatchewan Party to govern this province. Mr. Speaker, people know what they need to spend their money on, and when we leave the money in the pockets of the people, they can decide where they want to spend it. Now, a couple that earns $50,000 per year will be keeping an extra $2,775 to spend as they see fit, compared to when the NDP ruled. Investments in people also include investments in education and improving opportunities for all of our citizens. For example, we are investing $588,000 in new funding to expand English as an additional language. This budget also allocates $189.2 million for program funding targeted primarily for First Nation and Métis organizations and individuals. Mr. Speaker, I wonder if the members opposite are going to vote for or against the people of our province. Are the members from Cumberland and Athabasca going to say no to the First Nations and the Métis of this province? Mr. Speaker, my community of Prince Albert has a very vibrant arts and culture sector. When I was campaigning in 2011, I remember attending the launch of the very first ever Arts Fest program in Saskatchewan. It was launched right in Prince Albert. This 2-year pilot program has been renewed for another 2 years with renewed federal and provincial funding. The combined funding results in more than $2.4 million of financial support to the arts and culture sector. Mr. Speaker, Main Street was launched in April of 2011 as a 3-year, $1.65 million demonstration program in Wolseley, Indian Head, Maple Creek, and my community of Prince Albert. The program contributed to 41 new jobs in Main Street districts, 21 new businesses in Main Street districts, and $2.73 million in private sector commitments to historic building rehabilitation and streetscape improvement. Mr. Speaker, we have a 10-to-1 return on the province's investments in these capital projects. What we are finding is Arts Fest and Main Street programs are helping to create strong and vibrant communities. Mr. Speaker, this balanced, steady growth budget also invests in infrastructure. In our growth plan, we state that through municipal revenue sharing SAS bills and a future federal-provincial municipal infrastructure agreement, the Government of Saskatchewan will assist municipalities with infrastructure investments to meet the opportunities and challenges of growth. Mr. Deputy Speaker, in 2014-2015, a total of $257 million is being allocated in municipal revenue sharing based on the formula of 1 point of the provincial sales tax, or as we like to call it, the PST. Our province's third-largest city, Prince Albert, will receive $7,265,631 from this budget. That is a 142% increase from the 07-08 budget. Not only that, Mr. Deputy Speaker, we have capital investments in 2014-15 that total $95 million. Funding for ongoing projects including $16 million to complete the new hospital in Moose Jaw and $27 million to continue construction of the long-term care facilities in Biggar, Kelvington, Kipling, Maple Creek and Prince Albert. Mr. Speaker, the opposition like to speak about how often our backbenchers don't have any say. Well, our budget just contradicts that magnificently. If you look at all these projects and look at all the backbenchers, we are well represented. Mr. Speaker, in addition to the capital investments that I just spoke about, we are committing new funding to the renewal of Prince Albert's Victoria Hospital, the replacement of long-term care facilities in Regina Capel Health Region, and planning for more long-term care beds in La Ronge. Once again, I ask the members opposite, are they going to vote for the people of the North? Are the members from Cumberland or Athabasca going to have the audacity to say no to their own people? We'll find out. Two leaders from Prince Albert have this to say about the funding of the renewal of the Prince Albert's Victoria Hospital. Mr. Speaker, I'm going to quote Cecile Hunt, who is CEP for the PA Parkland Health Region from CKBI Prince Albert, dated March 20th, 2014. And I quote, "It's a very supportive gesture to the needs of Prince Albert and surrounding area. We, as a health region, and I speak on behalf of my board of directors also, we're very pleased." Mr. Greg Dion, our mayor of Prince Albert, who is quoted in PA Now on March 20th, 2014, says this, and I quote, "They announced today $2 million to go to the Parkland Health District to do the planning under the LEAN program," said Dion. "When they start with giving money that way, it comes right after that." Mr. Deputy Speaker, Saskatchewan continues to have one of the strongest economies in Canada, and it is forecasted to have the second highest GDP growth this year. Mr. Speaker, the voice of 1,117,503 people have been brought to the table where real decisions are made. They are brought by the 49 MLAs that form government. It was my colleagues that decided, together, we are going to keep Saskatchewan's growth steady. What are those NDP going to say to the people of this province? Are they going to say no to our people? Are they going to say no to this steady growth budget? Are they going to dish up more despondency and despair? Last week, Mr. Deputy Speaker, the MLA for Kenora Pelly, Minister of Finance, delivered the 7th consecutive balanced, steady growth budget that invests in people. That is significant. Here is why. Mr. Deputy Speaker, on the Legislative Assembly website, one will find Code of Ethical Conduct for members of the Legislative Assembly. Within this code, under the Statement of Commitment, it reads, and I quote, "We believe that the fundamental objective of public office is to serve our fellow citizens with integrity in order to improve the economic and social conditions of all Saskatchewan people." Mr. Speaker, our steady growth budget does just that. I do support the budget as presented by the Minister of Finance, seconded by the member from Shellbrook-Rostern, and I do not support any cut and crumbs amendment. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Recognize the member for Prince Albert Northcote.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Last Friday, I was honoured to provide greetings at the Cumberland College Award Ceremony in Tisdale on behalf of the Minister of Advanced Education. It was a great opportunity to meet the future leaders of our province and learn about their various programs and future ambitions. The ceremony was held for the recipients of the Saskatchewan Innovation and Opportunity Scholarship. This program funds scholarships focused on innovation and excellence, Mr. Speaker. The scholarship is targeted at students in emerging fields of study where innovative work is being done. The opportunities category of the scholarship is targeted towards the priority areas identified in Cumberland College's strategic plan that are important to the industry and community the college serves. For 2014-15, our government will commit $5 million in funding for the Saskatchewan Innovation and Opportunity Scholarship Program. This will be matched by scholarship funding raised by the post-secondary institutions, the private sector, and community-based partners. Mr. Speaker, this flexibility will allow institutions to attract partner donors and provide student assistance to students that is appropriate to the level and field of study. Our government will continue to make investments in people by providing funds for post-secondary education to support our labour market needs. Mr. Speaker, I ask all members to join me in congratulating the students who received the Saskatchewan Innovation and Opportunity Scholarship at the Cumberland College Award ceremonies and to wish them all the best in their studies. Thank you.